There is an orb that is controlling all the fishmen. It is locked in a certain location. And all of the great minds from across the land are trying to find a way to banish it. Because there are plenty of spells that banish things upon touch, but that would require touching the orb, which is very dangerous. Is
Do you
there any
want me
way
to
that...
just seal it in the item? I could probably work on that.
You wouldn't be opposed to meeting with me outside of the Underdark at some point with some of these greater minds? We could potentially utilize some of your whatever it is magic that you use to help seal this orb. This is something that's going to be done within the next 3 days because we currently have someone who is non-stop using their essence to contain its power. And if we don't do something within 3 days, that they are going to die.
Well, that's kind of silly. They should just use a different source.
It seems like you know a thing or two about this, and perhaps if I bring you on the team, you can lend some of your advice if you're feeling up to it.
Of course. I mean, I spent about... what was it? How many? 900 years studying, well, enchanting in the arcane.
What about using a golem guardian? A golem guardian that is charged magically and electrically.
That's not a bad idea, to be honest.
Very interesting pieces.
To have one or two if we're lucky that is just electrically charged to surround the orb, possibly.
If we could perhaps make it out of crystal. I know there are crystalline golems, and that would allow us to charge it even further magically.
So, basically, the ward, lightning magic. It's basically an elemental lightning ward. There are ways we could power it, with magical items and such. To do so, and to get the one that's casting the magic out safely, we'll have to take the barrier down for a moment to get him out of there. So it's more of, yes, we can create another barrier, but getting him out safely, we'd have to do it for a few moments. So, there's a few things we could do. Once we power it down, we create another barrier, and then create a sort of exit of some sort that we can leave through. But there's a bunch of options. I'm thinking, like, you know how you could put like a small metal bowl, and then you have a larger metal bowl and you put it over it. It would allow for us to keep things contained, but also allow him to get out safely. That would be a smart thing, but then that finite area would most likely, we would be dealing with, well, the enemies and stuff fighting. But it should stay contained if we do that to perhaps that area.
How would the people that are in that bigger bowl after the smaller bowl is removed going to get out?
Essentially, the way it would work is, imagine lifting the smaller bowl inside the big bowl. And then someone who is inside the big bowl will create another smaller bowl with them outside of it, hopefully. And then once that is done and we've defeated whatever has escaped, we lift the big bowl, leaving only the small bowl.
Though we will need quite a bit of magic users to create it. And then the smaller one we can do with magical items, so we won't really need much of a caster, just a team to set it up.
To help reduce the pressure, we can still lure them out to Ironmath as well.
Yes, this option was not said, Korgoth, or I don't know why I just about called you Korgoth, Gregor. Jeez, I'm so sorry. When everyone was getting ready, he said that if there was a need to split the forces to relieve some of the pressure, with this bull technique, it doesn't seem like it'll be necessary, but Korgoth, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Gregor
we gotta give you some kind of cure to get me out of your mind.
Sorry. He has a keep in the north on some really nice flat area, and he was thinking of damaging the journal that Wong has to call it out as, hey, look at me, gonna ruin the book, to split forces to two different points rather than it all clumping into one, giving greater chances of people being able to fight better as well.
You know what we could also do is kind of combine the both plans. So we take the barrier down, they destroy the book, and then we put the barrier back up, and it should confuse it quite a bit. Because for a moment, it'll see it far away, it may sense some things, and then immediately we'll be cut off from them, which would give probably an advantage to whoever's fighting.
should anything go wrong with the outer barrier as well, it may provide another level of defense for us to have time to set up the necessary stuff to get the smaller barrier done.
They can't attack everyone's homes if they're just attacking one.
Correct. I think a combination of the two would be applicable, especially if we use the teleporter magic as well to communicate. We send the one out to communicate to them, and then the barrier goes up after we send them. So we would effectively split their forces, and we'll stop them from getting reinforcements while they're fighting Split.
Having observed the barrier myself, I really do think that his plan is our best option to at least buy ourselves more time.
Of course.